Yep. So stop him. Now back him up because he walked away. So he's going through his routine. He's like, oh, I don't get a cookie. It's time to go to work. But he needs to wait for you because you're in charge, not him. As we do this, if you got on and you're waiting for your friend to go ride and your horse won't stand still, then you give them something to do. So you could walk circles around your friend. So just try that first. So just walk a circle around me. Yep. And you just got to steer him. You'll go in between the mounting block, go over here, and then the mounting block and the tire. So you never want to leave your friend as they're getting on, because if you walk away, their horse gets antsy, and sometimes the horse might rear up. You walk your circle again, and go in between the mounting block and the tire this next time. Lean back and look up. So I'm just explaining like trail etiquette. So when you get on, if you need to move because your horse won't stand still, then you stay with the person. Does that make sense? So you don't want to get on, walk far, far away, because then my horse will want to go with you, and then again you could get your friend hurt. So if they won't stand still, you can walk circles. The other thing you can do is back up circles and then ask them to stand there because they don't like to back up, okay? All right. So now just stop and stand and see if he'll stand. Yep. And you're trying to make sure if they want to walk, you let him make the mistake, like he walks a step and then you're like, okay, let's give you a job to do. But if you constantly, he walks a step, you pull, he walks a step, you pull, he doesn't learn any lesson except go stop, go stop. So you're trying to like, you want to walk? I said, don't walk. I'm giving you a job to do, okay? All right. So now I'm going to get in front of you because I'm going to be the leader. So you wait for the person and then you try to go out. Again, when you don't know what you're doing, have the other person lead. So you're going to follow me. Yep, you're not following me. You have to go right behind me. Because again, what if we're on the trail and there's a ditch over there and you don't know anything about ditches? So when I say follow me, it means follow right behind me. Yep. So just like we're cars, you're following in the same lane. So again, as we're walking, you want to keep the horse's head straight. You don't let them turn it left and right. They will if you let them, because that's how they see. But you're trying to tell them you don't have to look around because I got you. I know what I'm doing. And so you want to keep their head straight. And if you get nervous, the first thing you want to do is take a deep breath in and out. And then you sit back and kind of push your feet against your stirrups to help steady you if something bad did happen. Like that. Sit back. Now back them up. It's okay. They both spook because something went over there. Now turn left towards the spooky object. So that was perfect. Yep. Now let him stand here. Now keep your hands wide. If he wants to turn his head left and right, we let them because we want him to see what it was. I think it was a chicken. I'm not sure. And it's normal for them to spook. That's a normal like instinct thing. Like run, look later because we might die if we don't run first. So we're trying to teach them, hey, if you're scared, you just did that, just so you know. He was doing something with the bit and you pulled on it more. Yep. Now look where he should be looking. Yes. Now you just sit there. But if there's something spooky going on and he's playing with the bit and you're staring at the bit, if that guy came out with a rug to smack it on the ground, you won't see it coming. And then your horse will really spook. But if you see him coming out with a rug, you're like, oh, get my hands wide, sit back. He's going to do something to scare him. So don't let the horse distract you. You know, you just asked him to walk, right?
Why?
Because you moved your leg and you moved your hands. Okay. So like you just moved your leg again. Every time you move your leg, he thinks he's supposed to go somewhere, okay? And you went like this. So you didn't sit there and just go like this. You went like this. And the horse moved. So you told him, and again, these are beginner things that people don't realize they're doing. They're telling the horse these cues and he's like, what is going on up there? Now, once they're fine, they've seen this, we see what it is, then we turn and walk. But if they spook and it's not something that's going to kill us, like a truck or a lion, we want to stop, get the horse used to it. If you just run by it, they'll go by spooky stuff, but they're always going to be running and spooking by it. We want them to be safe, so if we put someone else on them.
Did I make him go again?
Nope. You know what made him go? My horse moved. Okay. So what you should do is tell him that was not right and back up where he was. Yeah. Don't look at his head. You can look behind you or in front of you. Yeah. Don't stare at his head. So it's your car, and this is what people don't get. They let horses do what they want. But if it's a car and it rolled away, you'd put it back right in the spot it was. Yes. But he moved because he thought my horse was leaving. But you're in charge. He's not in charge of him. We're helping you, but you're in charge of your own horse, just like it's your own car. And the more you tell him things to do, the more he'll believe you. The more he tests you and go, we don't have to listen to you. And you go, yeah, you don't. Just follow that horse and keep me safe. Then when the stuff goes down, like something bad happens, they won't listen. If my horse bolts, he's going to bolt because he's been depending on him as the leader. Okay, so now we're going to walk off. But as we walk off, we sit back and keep our hands wide, and just in case something happens over there again. And then again, you follow where I'm going. So all that leg yielding and learning how to push the horse sideways, now you use that to stay behind me, okay? Now, and again, this is overwhelming stuff because I try to stuff it all in you, but that's why I have the recorder on. So as we go, and if we're going down the trail and my horse stops and gets scared and starts running backwards, he'll smash into you. So if my horse starts running backwards and you see what's going on, you want to try to back your horse up and give me some room so I have a space to deal with, and you know, I'm not just smashing into you. Okay, so on the count of 3, we're going to stop, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're both going to back up. So I'm going to back up and you keep backing up until I stop and you have space. Does that make sense? And you're trying to steer them backwards as we go back. Okay, now we're going to stop because now my horse stopped freaking out, we're pretending, and your horse, you have enough space, so that's good. That way if he started to spin or something, I'm not going to smash into you. When horses really get scared, they will spin, and if you're right behind me, they will turn around and whack. They'll whack right into the other horse.
To begin with, or is that
you try to stay like 1 horse length apart if you can. Yes. If the horse is really scared or you can't get it through water or something like that, I'll say come up right on my tail, but otherwise you would. Okay. If this was a mare like Tilly, who's bossy, she's scared but she's bossy, and he came up on her and she didn't like it, she'd just barrel him. She wouldn't give any, she might flick an ear and then bam, she'd just smash him and he would stay out of her space. But since he's nice and he doesn't care, they will ride up on top of each other. All right, so now we're gonna walk again, and what's gonna happen is I'm just gonna stop without telling you. You try not to run into me, and then if I back up, you start backing up, okay? But you're trying to back up in the, like the line that we're going, because we're kind of pretending it's a trail. Yep, and you can always look back because you're trying to think, where am I, you know, is he keeping his feet on the trail? We don't want to go off a cliff. Okay, now I'm going to go forward again. So wherever I go, we're just making a trail, you're going to follow me. So if I make a loop, you don't let your horse cut it, you make him make the loop. That makes sense? So like here, it's much easier for him to cut the turn to get behind me, but you don't want him to do that. Yep. Here we go, I'm gonna back up, yep. Come on, buddy. You did good, yeah? All right, now.
when I go backwards,
You pull, and then if they don't back up, you add leg, and then you pull, release, pull, release. So you're trying to release when they're doing it right. But if it's an emergency, you might not be able to release.
you release if they're moving back.
That's right, yep. Okay, now we'll go forward again. Okay, so now we're gonna pretend we're gonna go over a tree. When we go over the tree, we try to line the horse up into the lowest part, but then as you get there, you're gonna look up. So you're gonna look over my head, but try to steer and just use your peripheral vision. We're gonna go over all these poles. Yep. Now if it's higher on one side, which it might be on the trail, just like this, You sit back as they go over it because they might hang a foot because their eyes are on the side of their head. So one side looks high to them and one side looks low. But you don't want to lean forward and look at the object because it makes it harder for them. So you steer, but then once you get up there, like right now, then I look at your car. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to stop. And we're going to pretend there's a tree down, we can't get over it, and we're on a skinny trail so we can't loop around. So what we're going to do is our turn on the forehand to turn them around. So you want the front feet to stay still. We're going to turn to the left and just make his back end walk around. So watch me first in case you forgot. So left rein, left leg. And I'm holding him because again, I might go off the trail otherwise. And he's just learning this stuff, so he's not so good. So now you try. So left rein, left leg. You got to look where you're going. Can't look at his head. You got to be looking at the trail. Lean back. Yep. Hold in. Yep. You used a little too much rein. Now, since I'm the leader, you hold your horse there. I'm going to walk by you, okay? So now I'm pretending I'm on the trail, so I might come like it's a single track, and I'm going to be right next to you, or I might bump into you by accident. Look, he doesn't want to go first. Okay. So now we're going to walk over the trees again. Hi, Terry. Good. So again, as you get to the pole, you stare at my head each time. Yep. So they can step over some really big stuff, but you just want to keep your body back as they do it. Okay. All right. So I taught you what that little 2-point was, like stand up in the saddle. Okay, so if they're going up a really steep hill, we try to help them get up it by leaning a little forward, and it's called a 2-point position. It's also called a half seat, and it's what they do when you see them jumping horses. So what they do, or what we're gonna do, is we're gonna stand up a little bit by squeezing our thighs and lean a little forward, but still have our rein so we can steer. Does that make sense? So go ahead and try it. You're gonna, yep. And then try steering. That's okay. Stop. What?
I fell off.
You fell on him.
Like I
Oh, hard, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can't stay up, you're gonna grab, keep your reins, but hold the mane at the same time. Does that make sense?
just have to get used to.
Yes. Okay, that's okay. So if he does that and he scoots forward the next time, it's okay if it happens.
Yeah.
Stop him, back him up, and just say wait to me so I know you're doing something. Because you never want to be on the trail and I just leave you because I don't have any communication. All right, so first we're just gonna walk, so we'll sit. We're gonna wait till we get by this scary spot. Okay, so now just try it again. You don't have to get up high, it's just an inch or two. Yeah, and then you can sit back down and then just try it again. So just do it a couple times so we don't make your legs sore. But you're trying, and again, if it was a steep hill, you can grab their mane, but grab it halfway up, because if you grab it low, you won't be able to stay up. You want to grab it where it's going to help keep you up out of the saddle. So try grabbing his mane, yeah, and pull on it. It won't hurt him. So use that to help you stay out of the saddle, because it's worse if you fall back if they were like going up something super steep. No, because the horn's too low. The horn's more if you couldn't get on, we don't like to use it, but we would, or your horse starts bucking or something, you grab it and lean back. But anything when you're doing it forward, if you grab the horn, it's underneath you, so it won't help you. It'll actually make it harder for you. Yeah, so try it again. Try to get up in your half seat. Yeah, and then sit back down. Okay. So now we're going to stop. Whoa. And we're going to do another turn on the forehand. So it's going to be right rein and leg. You're going to look at the round pen. Try not to use too much rein. You want them to know which way they're going, but then try to use mostly leg and then just hold them. So again, I'm going to right rein. See how much his head's turned? It's not far at all. And then it's all leg. Okay, now you try it, but look that way. Don't look at his head. Yep, hold, pull on both reins when he's walking away. Lean back. Finish straightening him. Yeah. Now, which leg did you use to straighten him? I saw your left leg wiggle, which was the wrong leg.
I thought I did.
And you might have used both, or your left leg might have wiggled while your right one wiggled.
Yeah.
But again, as you're straightening them, you keep using the same leg, but you hold them.
Okay.
And people don't get the concept. And then when we get on the trail and it's a single track or somewhere scary with a drip, I go, well, I hope you turn on the forehands really good, because otherwise we're going off a cliff. And they go, what? And I go, that's why I was so particular on that movement the whole time. Okay, so now we're going to walk forward and you're going to lead, because we're just in the arena. So you got to look up, you got to become the lead person, and just think of how you are with your kids, like you're telling them what to do. Because if you're a good leader, the trail ride goes well. If you're a bad leader, or you have no control of the horse, then all the horses behind you will become chaotic. And it's just like with any job. If there's a good leader, things go smoothly. Bad leaders cause chaos. Okay. So now as we go down this long side, we're going to try our serpentine. So you're just going to weave back and forth like he's drunk. And again, this is a good movement. Say my horse was really slow and I couldn't keep up. You could do this movement to make your horse slower, but without pulling on him the whole time. Say your horse was tripping and not paying attention. You could do this to get his attention back. Or if we were going downhill and it was too steep for him, we do this because it's just like slaloming on the ski slope to help slow him down. Yep, and then we just sit back. Okay, now you're going to keep going just around the arena. Anywhere you see it's muddy, if you can avoid it, because we're pretending we're on trail, you avoid it, because mud makes them slide. And if they slide, all we can do is kind of sit back and try not to get in their way as they try to catch us. So remember, last time I said if they slide, do not pull on one rein, because that will make them tip over. All right, so now try a stop and back up 5 steps. Good. Now walk forward again. Okay. Now you take us through the circle of poles, because now I just want to see what you're doing. Good job. Yeah. So when you're going over trees on the trail, sometimes there's branches and things sticking up, and you're trying to help the horse go over the easiest part if possible, so they don't trip on a branch. Good. After this next pole, you can go back out around the arena. Yeah. So I'm just going to talk. So if I didn't make the horses do all these poles and then I just went on the trail and it was a baby horse and never had gone over a tree before, they won't know how to get over it. And they'll figure it out, but it's much harder to figure it out when somebody's on your back. And again, they'll watch the other horses, but if they're the first one, they might refuse because they don't know how. So practicing all this stuff in the arena really does help. Okay. Now, even though we're going on the short side, try your serpentine again.
That way?
So just weave back and forth towards the round pen.
Oh, okay.
So your serpentine you can do anywhere. You just keep weaving on and off the path that you were on. Yep. Good. Now you'll go back on your trail again. Okay. So in a minute, I'm going to yell spook, okay? And so we're pretending our horse is spooked. I want to pretend it's on the left side of us. So when I yell spook, you lean back, stop your horse, and then we're going to turn it left to face the object, okay? Spook. Okay. Do you think that was fast enough? No.
So when I, okay, what let's say, I know it's pretend, but
Yeah.
you say spook. Do I stop him first and then
Yes,
turn?
but this is what you do. As soon as those words come out of my mouth, which you don't know my game yet, as soon as I say spook, you're like, whoa, like immediately slam on the brakes.
Stop him.
Yes.
Okay.
And you push your feet forward and get your weight back.
Okay.
Yep. Because sometimes you have to stop in an emergency because we're on a trail and all the footing gives out. And if you take one more step, we're off the side of it.
Right.
So when I say spook, you want to be like, whoa, immediately stop, like within a second or two, and then turn them to this direction. Yeah. But that was okay. That's how we learned. So now we're going to turn back that way. Since we need more practice with the turn on the forehand, use your right rein and your right leg to get them to turn back towards disco. Yeah. Pull. Yep. So I'm going to come up next to you because the turn on the forehand gets confusing. If you really need them to pivot, like usually in the beginning I say left rein, left leg, or right rein, right leg. But as we're pivoting, because we're not going to have walls soon in the future as we go on the trail, you have to use the opposite rein to prevent them from walking. So if I'm turning and I'm using my right rein and leg and he starts to walk, you pull on your left rein. So this one would turn him, this one would stop him from going forward. Does that make sense? Okay, so now walk off again, and then when you space out, I'm going to yell spook, so don't space out. And our spooky object is, I'm going to make it easy, it's going to be on our left again when it happens, okay? Yep. He's telling you, he's like, let's get out of this arena. Spook. Turn left. Yep. So you did a 180, so turn yourself back because now the spooky object might be behind you. Yep. Now stop. Whoa. Yep. Now this is what you do. Hands wide because they might spin. So if he spun to the right, you would just pull out to the left. If he spun left, you just pull out to the right. Does that make sense? Okay. So what I want you to do is not pull hard, but we're just going to practice, okay? So let's say he starts spinning to the right. Which rein would you pull? Yes, your left. Now he spins to the left. Which rein would you do? Okay, good. So now we're going to go back on our trail. So we're going to do the turn on the forehand with your right rein and leg, but your left rein has to hold him, okay? So little rein, mostly leg, left rein, hold. Yeah, so your horse is walking too much in the beginning, okay? So you would have died like 3 times by now. All right, walk. Yeah, so you like how then I laugh afterwards? Like, that's a funny thing. And I'm just joking. All right, so this time when I yell spook, we're gonna pretend the object is on the right. So we're gonna stop and then turn to the right, okay? Spook, turn right. Lean back. Yep. Now stop. Now hands wide, and then you lean back a little bit, put your feet out in front of you. That's it. So that way if they spun or did something, we hope to God we stay on because we're trying to set ourselves up for it. Then again, if he wants to turn his head left and right like he's doing, that's how he sees. We want him to see, hey, that was just a biker, or it's a horse, or it was Terry walking by. They only spook because they don't know what it is, and again, their brain tells them, run, look later. So we're trying to teach them, hey, when you're scared, I got you, just look at it, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna go back on the trail. So, whoa, shorten up a little. You're gonna do your turn on the forehand to the left. So it'll be left rein and leg, but the right rein holds, yep. And look at that horse. Less rein, more leg. That was good, yep. Okay, now we're gonna walk off again. Okay, so now other trail etiquette things is some people don't understand what even trail etiquette means. It means we're all trying to keep each other safe, and we know some people have more horses that are not as calm as other people's, so we have to try to keep all our friends safe with us, okay? So what I'm gonna do, say I have a faster horse, and so I want to pass you. I'm going to ask you, are you okay? Is your horse okay if I pass you? And you might say, no, he's a freak and I'm petrified. And I go, okay, I'll just stay back here. But if you say okay, then I'm just going to walk by, because if I run by you, your horse will think something's chasing my horse, and then your horse will want to run too. Okay? So you ready, Mariana? Can I pass you? Is your horse okay?
Yes.
Okay. So now, as I walk past, I want to give you enough room so if you were on Tilly, she wouldn't kick me. Now I'm going to get up in front of you, so I'm pushing my horse to go faster. And then I'm going to kind of leg yield over to get in front of you. Okay. So anytime you pass somebody in the beginning until everybody rides well, you're always trying to ask. But if you go out with a group and all those people either don't have good trail etiquette or they all ride well, they might forget you're a beginner and they just start flying by you, and then it makes your horse crazy. Because again, when horses pass each other, they think they're being left to be eaten. Okay, so now what we're going to do is ride around the barn. So once we go out here, we're going to turn to the right. You always want to make sure you have enough clearance, because the horse will know how far he is, but they don't take account for your legs. And if you don't, sometimes they'll smash your legs into the poles. So as we go through here, you're just always trying to stay in the middle so your legs won't get caught. So you see how much room I got around that pole? Good job. Okay. And that's just because he wasn't going forward. So I don't have a stick on him. These are Rommel reins, but I can hit him with the extra part of rein if he won't go forward. All right. He's just slow. He gets bored here. All right. So now we're just trying, even though there's no line, we're trying to hold them in a straight line. And again, if any time I stop, you're trying to pay enough attention that even if I don't say anything, you stop. And then you do what I do. So if my horse is backing up, you back up. Yeah, perfect. Good. Now we're going to walk off again. But it's hard if you get out there like I took you out on the road and you're not really sure of all the stuff. It's hard. It's really hard to do out there. It's scary.
Your brain will stop working.
Oh yeah, because most people are like, oh my God, there's a car coming. Oh, there's a bike. And then the horse is like, oh my God, there's a car coming. Yeah. Okay. So as we go up here, they'll be fine with the dogs barking, okay? But if you get nervous, you want to breathe, keep your hands wide, and sit back. Lolo, no. Hey, shh. Now, let's pretend they spooked when we get up here, and we're going to stop and turn left. Ready? Spook. Now turn left towards the dogs. Now just stand with your hands wide and leaning back with your feet kind of out in front of you. And then we're like, look, it's just a dog. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Lolo, no. No. Good girl. All right, now we're going to walk away before she runs away. All right, so as you walk around the barn, sometimes Charlie hides in the tree and he scares all the other horses. Because if you look at this tree right here, it's dark. They can't tell it's a horse. See, there he's going. Are you going in the trees? And they think it's like a mountain lion. So when, no, but when he pops out, they're petrified until they see it's a horse. But again, they see blurry and from the sides of their head, so they don't make out the detail. And then once they see it's him, they're fine. But anytime you're riding around and you're like, where's Charlie? And you're like, oh, he might be in the bushes. I better sit back and pay attention, because if he jumps out, it might scare my horse. So again, if he did, our horses jump forward, they spook. We slam on the brakes, turn left, let them see it's Charlie. So as we go, you know, Terry's doing stuff with his truck. Same thing. As we go around, we're just kind of looking like, where is Terry? So we're prepared for it, and we're sitting back, because he might like shoot out in between the trucks or something. And then breathe if you get nervous through your mouth, not your nose. So we're looking around because all this stuff is scary to the horse, because they can't make out, like, what's that? What, you know, there's so much stuff. There's Terry.
They get nervous, scream.
Do not scream. Such a goofball. All right, So now we're going to go through a little mud. So as we go through the mud, you want to take tiny steps if you can. So you're trying to half halt with each step, a little squeeze and relax to make their stride shorter so they don't slide their feet, especially if you're on a walking horse, which you're not. But the walking horses have big steps, and so they'll slide more because they shove their feet. That was good. Okay. Now, if you get in with the rocks and you're on a barefoot horse, which you're not, he has shoes on, but if you're on a barefoot one, sometimes they will get ouchy and they won't want to go, or they will trip, or all of a sudden their stifles, which is in their back end, start locking up. Those are all signs that the rocks are bothering them. Nothing's wrong with the horse. It's just the rocks on their feet is making them sore, and so they're not using their muscles. Okay. Now, as we get up here, this is where they live. So if they want to go into their stall, we're not going to let them. We're going to pull back and forth like this to make it uncomfortable to even look at their stall, okay? I think his gate is shut, but my horse's gate is open. So if he did it, I would just pull. Yep. And then again, if you have options where it's muddy and it's not muddy, you go in the non-muddy part because they can slide in the mud. And if they do slide, you just sit back and try to let them catch us. There's a cute little bunny. And bunnies will scare horses. So there's a goat. Does it have a blanket on? No. There's another one. All right. So now we're going to turn and cut across, but don't let Nichols cheat. Make sure he stays behind me because, again, we're pretending it's a trail. Good. Now I'm going to change our direction, so you just keep following. Now again, you can look all around. You can look over there and be like, oh, there's a guy climbing up there. There's a person over there. So you're aware, but you don't want the horse looking all around, unless it was a totally calm, non-trippy horse, which is not what we have. All right. So again, we're on the mud. So we want to take little slow steps. So there's different gaited breeds, and some have short strides and some have longer strides. The walking horses usually have the longest one. So those we really have to be like, oh, there's mud or there's tons of rocks. I got to shorten his stride by half halting and get them to pay attention. And then there's ones with shorter strides, like that one, and a little bit like Nichols, where they'll get over this stuff easier. All right, so now we're going to go back this way. So again, as you're riding, there will be things on trail like this, like nothing's in the arena, nothing's on the left, and a whole bunch of stuff's on the right. So no reason to look off to the left. You just keep glancing to the right to be like, is that guy over there doing something, or are the dogs loose? All right, so let's pretend they spook and it's something on the right. So we're going to stop and turn right. Ready? Spook. Whoa. Now turn right. Yeah. Sometimes they won't listen because they're really scared, and you really got to kind of belt them one to make them turn. Perfect. You sat back. You pushed your legs forward. Yep. And then you're just looking at like what's going on over there. Okay. So they're good. They don't care. So we're going to turn back. And then off we go again. I am, because he is not going forward otherwise. So, yes. So if they're going forward, you don't have to put any leg on. But if they won't move, you know, then you might have to go. And if you're first and the horse is not a lead type horse, then you do have to push them. So horses are like people. There's leaders and they're followers. So like he's looking for Terry now. He's like, I saw a guy go over there. And you can make the horse be a leader even if he's a follower type, but you have to be a good leader. If like you're a submissive and the horse is a follower, then you usually won't get them to go out front unless you're aggressive. It is. All right. Oh, thank you. So as we go here, a lot of times they want to look in that door because it's dark and they can't tell what it is. And they are looking to see if something's going to pop out on them. So like if we were going by that and Terry just had his trailer parked here, that's usually the scary one. Unless the trailer door's open, then they think something's going to jump out there. Okay, so now we're going to go downhill here. So as you go downhill, push your feet forward, lean back, and just, if they're going fast, squeeze and relax on the rein. The slower you go downhill, the safer you'll be. The shorter the step, it keeps you safe. So if you're not sure, I just tell people, go slow, tell the people to wait up for you. Okay, so now more trail etiquette stuff. So as we're riding, lots of leaders don't look back like this. I do it all the time. But if I was riding and I got like 2 or 3 horse lengths apart from you, and I started going faster and faster, to keep you safe, you want to yell, "Hey Joe, slow down. My horse is not so fast." Because then if they're nice, they'll slow down. If they're like, "No, you just need to speed up," I go, "Okay, have a nice ride." And I stop, get off, because the horse might freak off when they leave, and I just let them leave, because that's a dangerous person to ride with. Because you're learning, and they should help you, not try to kill you. Now here, the dogs are in here, so you want to sit back just in case they jumped at the window. Yep. But it's hard because people feel bad and they don't want to say anything to the new person they're riding with. And I go, well, if you don't say anything, you might not ride with them ever again because you might fall off. So it's much better just to say something. And sometimes the person's not doing it on purpose. They're just distracted and their horse walks faster. All right, so we're going to practice. You pretend I got ahead and you tell me to slow down or wait for you. Just yell out.
Slow down.
What? You need to speed up, lady. Your horse sucks.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but you just say, "Hey, Gaye, will you slow down? I can't keep up," or "I'm nervous and I only want to walk today." Yes.
My horse won't get automatic into the speed of that horse, or if you sometimes
It might, but again, these guys are gated, so say I sped up and your horse sped up, but he might not gate well unless you help him. So he might not. So say your horse, you were fine with the speed, but your horse kept pacing or trotting, then you want to be like, "My horse doesn't gate that fast. Can you just slow down so I can keep my horse in gait?" And then over time, you know, over months, he'll get faster and be able to keep up more. Yeah, so some will, some won't care. Like Beauty doesn't care if you leave, and he can get pretty far away. Nichols doesn't care so much, but Nichols has like a 100 or 200 foot limit, and once you pass that limit, then he's like, "Oh no, I want to catch up now," and then he'll kind of charge forward to catch up with them. And he's okay if they slowly drift away, but if I just ran away from you, many horses want to go because they're thinking something's chasing that horse, and if I don't run with him, that thing will get me. So it's normal horse behavior, but people don't think that way. And I go, well, think of it this way. You and I are walking through the woods, and all of a sudden you don't say anything, and you took off running. You know what I'd do? I'd run. I wouldn't wait to see what it was. Yes, but for some reason people don't think like that. And I go, well, yeah. So something happens, we all go. We don't look. And you'll see people play tricks, like they'll go by something and jump sideways, and everybody after them, not just the horses, but like the people start moving sideways. And I go, yeah, because you're like, why did they jump? I should move over too. Yeah, so a lot of it is common sense, which they call horse sense, but for some reason, some people don't think. Yeah. But see, they're fine with the dogs, but if the dogs were hiding in the house, there's a dog door, and just jumped out that door, that might spook them because they didn't know it was a dog charging out. Okay, so now we're going to stop for a second. So say we're on the trail ride and we stop to take a break or talk, and your horse won't stand still, because many horses won't. One, you don't want to face them towards home because they're more motivated towards home. So if my horse, say, kept moving and we're taking a break, I would turn and face them the other way. So face them away from home, like going further out on the trail. If I was standing here and he still wouldn't stand still, then I might do my side pass where I push him sideways. Yeah, push him sideways that way a couple steps, push him sideways this way, because that way he gets to move and I get to practice something, but we're not going forward. If that doesn't work, I might back him in a circle. Any horse that is rearing up because it wants to go, you don't want to back up with it, because if you pull on the reins, it's going to go up in the air more. So if a horse was rearing, I go, no, side pass, turn on the forehand, those are good. But don't try to back up because it just makes it worse and worse. Okay. But that way, then you sit here. If you take breaks, the horses get used to taking breaks. It's not a big deal. A lot of people don't ever take breaks on the trail, and those horses can't stand still because they don't know how to stand still. And people get mad, and I go, well, it's not their fault. You never practice standing still. So if I have a horse like that, I might stand still and give him some cookies or bring some grain and give him some grain, or I might get off and graze him while everybody else is still sitting up there, and then I get back on and go. Because I'm trying to teach the horse, no, this is a good thing. It's okay. But that takes time. You feel comfortable so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to try and go down the real trail a little bit?
Sure.
Let me see what time it is. Okay. So let's see what's out there. It's probably less scary than this. Our trails don't have a lot except like deer jumping out once in a while. So it's a good one. That road ride is much scarier than this. This is more footing and they can't.
I felt that the other day.
Yeah, we go through the, by the flowers, and they can't see, like, they'll hear noises in the flower and they don't know if it's a bird or a monster. So and people go, it's just a bird. And I go, you know that, but he doesn't know that. So if they start getting scared, I try to give them jobs like the serpentine, the leg yield, and something to get their mind off of what they're focusing on. Yep. And a good leader, when you're going through stuff, will always wait for you. So like if you don't know people, you meet someone here, you're riding one of my horses, and you're going to go on a ride, you want to ask them, like, do you go fast or slow? I'm a beginner, so I want to go slow in the beginning and be safe. Okay, so this will be a little slick here as we go down. It might not look it, but it will be. So you want to sit back, and then there's holes, so you're trying to steer, if possible, around the holes and not go in that hole. And then go back this way, because the mud sinks. And then you're going to sit back. So I'm waiting for you, that's all. Yep. Because I don't want to get ahead of you, so I just keep stopping and waiting. So here, this might sink a little too. But you'll see, if I sink, and I sink a lot, you don't follow my path, you pick a different path. It's just the same, if I slid somewhere, you'd be like, I'm not going there. Yes. I think it's a Paso Fino. It is, and they're small. All right. So again, they're not going to be scared too much on the left unless the horses start running, which sometimes they do. They'll be more worried over here. So you want to kind of keep glancing left, but looking to the right to see if you see anything. And then, since this is your first trail ride, you'd rather be closer to the red because your reins are so long, even though you think he's not going to do something, because red means emergency. So you don't want to be pulling on him, but you want him short enough so if something did happen, he's going to listen to you right away. If they're too long, it takes too long to get your reins short, and by that time they could be running that direction. Hi guys. But sometimes these horses start running up. So you're just trying to steer them and practice keeping them straight, even though there's nothing on the trail, just in case, there's gullies or other things that they listen to us. And again, like when we're going down the trail, some people would ride over there, and I'm like, why are you doing that? You're going to walk into a bush. The horse doesn't care about the bushes, but we don't want to go in the bushes. So you steer them where it's safer for you to go. Now here it just steps down a little bit, so you want to keep steering and then just sitting back. Good. So I'm going to turn. We're going to look at the footing so I see what it looks like, and we're good. So we're going to go after he goes to the bathroom. Yeah. So as we go up this hill, it'll get a little steeper. And if you can, you don't have to get up in your thigh, but at least tilt a little forward. Now see how he won't go? He's like, no, I don't want to go away from home. So now it's up to me to be the leader to get him to go, because he's like, I'm scared. So I'm bumping him with my legs. And then that's all it took for him was, oh, okay, I guess you'll make me go, and I trust you now. But if you don't do anything, then they're like, you're not a good leader. I'm not going with you. So we don't have to lean forward yet. Right now we're okay. But you're kind of just glancing around because, again, sometimes guys are in the flowers. And then, see, you fell a little behind. I'm just going to slow down and wait for you because I know you're new, so you wouldn't know, like, how to get...
I see a guy, like, in the bush, right?
Yes.
I know the horse doesn't see it yet.
Yes. You could stop and turn him towards it.
Okay.
I always talk to the people to try to get them to talk back, because once they hear the human voice, they'll know. Oh, he's got to pee, I think. Oh, it's a person. So I go, hey, how you doing? And I just talk to everybody. Otherwise, I stop and turn towards them. And if the person won't talk, and even though I'm turning, the horse is scared because the person's not doing anything, make sure my reins are short. I go forward and I just start leg yielding or serpentine or try to give the horse something to do. Now he's peeing and I didn't say it, but normally when they pee, you try to stand up in the saddle to get off their back. Now he's done, so now you're going to come forward again. Yes. Yep. I don't know what kind of flowers or anything they are. So now as we're going up here, you're trying to steer, you know, you're trying not to walk over something that might tangle on their feet, because that's irrigation. So you steer around that, because he wouldn't know that. And you're trying to steer them where they're safe and things, you know, don't get stuck around their legs. So that's like a fake scarecrow. That will scare the horses in the wind because it'll be blowing. So as we came up the hill and they started running backwards, we go, oh, it's just one of those scarecrow things. Are you going to the bathroom? Yeah. So I'm letting them look at it because I think they just put that one up and it's a new one. Now see, there I bumped him kind of pretty hard because he was going to try to go backwards. Again, he's like, he might have just canted. He will follow anybody, but you got to be a good leader if he's in front, because he's only 8 years old and Nichols is 15. But these are both kind of follower type horses, which are great because then you can get behind people and they don't mind it. Lean forward a little. Yes, he's doing it to get up the hill easier. Yes. Look up and steer. Yep. And just kind of lean forward. Yeah. He might have tried to canter a step or two to help him get up, because it's hard to walk. It takes more energy. It's okay now because you're a beginner. Yes. In time, we want to make them walk, or we want to make them canter, we want to make them do what we want. So here, you're just careful because all these bumps, they don't see the elevation so much, so it could make them trip. So when you see that dirt stuff, you sit back a little bit. Now we're going up what I call stairs. So as we go up here, you're steering, and then once we get up to it, you're going to look up and lean forward, and you can grab mane because they got to step up to get up this. So watch, I'm going to grab mane, lean forward to help him get up over it. So grab the mane, look at me, cluck if he gets too slow, because if he's too slow, you'll get stuck. There you go. And then you have to steer up here because it's very narrow. Or if you're petrified, just sit there and sit back and he'll get you through it. But otherwise, you're trying to help them because your eyes are in the front of your head and you can see it easier. Yep, keep your left leg on, right rein open. And don't worry, I'll take you into a little bit of scary stuff and then we'll turn around. So see, now this part's open, but we still want to steer and you still want to look through the fields, like, are there deer hiding back there? Is there something over here? Which I don't see or hear anything. And again, if he starts looking around, you want to keep his head straight and be like, no, I got you. Okay, now we're going to go through something narrow again. So you want to sit, keep your hands wide, steer. And if they get up on the edge, they're going to go like that. They're going to kind of toggle back and forth. You just try to stay still and they'll figure it out. But if they toggle and then you yank their head, you'll put them off balance and that could make them trip. And he's been through this, he's fine, but you just sit and keep breathing. Your horse won't do that. But see, it's good. It got narrower. He has big feet. Right? But it's good that you see exactly, you know, I put it out in the universe now up here. But he caught himself, and so when he was scrambling, if you didn't see, I didn't move at all. No, I just tried to stay completely still and let him get it out, because at that point, he knows his body better than me. I can't help him. You can usually, if they're panicked, you can feel their heart right through their saddle. You'll feel like boom, boom, boom. Or they snort or something. But that, I've taken so many horses through that, and so many of them trip because they like, how do I get my feet through here? You know? And they figure it out. But like here, it's wide and then it gets narrow. So now he might pay more attention. Stay way left, because you'll see that footing gives out. Yeah, so you should have stayed more left, you didn't, and that's what caused him to trip, because then he took one shallow step and he had to pick his foot up like a foot. Yes, but you almost took him into that gully. Yes, and again, that gully could have gave out even more. Yeah. But again, that's how we learn. But you did good balance-wise. You sat back and got yourself back out of his way. It's much harder. So, yes. Yes. This trail, although it doesn't have like people and stuff on it, is technical. Yeah. But even like that tree, you want to steer around it because he'll duck or he might scratch his eye. You don't want that to happen. So you're like, hey, move to the side. But people let the horses like take them into trees and all sorts of stuff. Now it's raining. Yeah, it is. It's really pretty up here. So a lot of horses are afraid of these feathery things in the beginning because they move. And with the wind, they're very, you know, there's a lot of motion. So they think something's always hiding in there. So even here, even though we're going straight, we're still steering. You don't want to let the horse just wander aimlessly on the trail. I know, he poops a lot. Or did he fake poop? Like 2 poops? And if you don't steer at all and say I'm a bad leader and I take my horse into a bush, that horse behind him is most likely going to go in the bush. They just follow where the other one goes. Now there's a rock sticking up right there. So you're trying, because the horse won't see that. So if you see it, you're like, go around it or just half halt and make sure they're paying attention. The quarter horses pick their feet up higher and they take shorter strides. The gaited horses, some of them it's a big stride like this one. Some like yours, it's a shorter stride, but it's still bigger than a quarter horse. So they reach out more and they have to cover more objects as they're doing it so they can catch their toe. And with something like that, they can't see it. So you're trying to make sure he's paying attention and he's aware that something's there. Okay. So now we're going to go downhill. and you're just gonna follow where I go. So I'm gonna look at this, and again, this is a younger horse, so it's better I pick where to go than he does, because he's not gonna know as much. Nichols would know more. So what I'm gonna do is take us a little bit on the right and then cut over to the left. All these roots that are sticking up, they can trip over, so as you go over them, you just want to sit back and have your hands wide. You okay? Yep, now push them into this. Yep, so right leg. And then I'll start moving. You scared the shit out of him. Yes. So, okay, so once we get up here, we're gonna stop, get off, raise the horses to reward them some, and then we'll get back on. I think 15-1. So we're gonna stop, and then we're gonna get off. So now what we're trying to do is stand him somewhere he's lower than you. So you don't want to get on here. We want him over here, facing this way, because then you'll be able to stand on the grass.
Facing this way?
Yes. So we're trying to get him here because the grass is higher.
Come on.
Okay.
There?
Yeah, close enough.
Grab his hair.
Yes, you'll grab the reins, a bunch of mane, stick your toe in, but put it in the girth so you don't kick them by accident. And if you can't, we'll find another place to get on. Yeah. And then grab that mane and then pull on that mane as much as you can and jump. Good job. And then once you're up there, then you kind of want to lean to the right and then get your reins, and then I'm going to put you behind me. So when we get on, we always try to get on facing the horse away from home, because they're less like, they want to go home, but they're less likely to want to go out on that trail by themselves. Okay, so now I got to fix my reins, and then I'm going to do the same thing.
He's so beautiful.
Oh, this guy? Yeah, he is.
God,
yes.
His eyes are just gorgeous.
Yes, he's very sweet.
Not that much hair.
No, he doesn't have a whole bunch of mane or anything. Now, when I get on, again, he's going to want to go, and your horse might want to go towards home too. So I'm going to put him in front of you, and then what we'll do is walk forward, and then we'll turn around. Oh, now it's okay if you're up on him. Oh, let me check my girth. So I'm tightening my girth too. No, you don't. Come here. Sorry. See, he's already thinking, let's go home. So he might spin around as I'm trying to get on. Sorry. Now I'm going to turn him back the way I want to go. And that means he's done that to somebody and they let him. So we're just giving him new habits. But my pad got in my way. So I wanted to go up a little further before we turn around, so he doesn't think like we were going that way anyway, lady. Okay. So as we turn, your horse is probably going to try to take a shortcut, okay? So you try to hold him. I'm going to turn here. So you go where his tail just was.
Follow you?
Yep. But see, your horse is like, why do that when I can just go first? Okay, and then I'm going to stop and wait for you. Okay, you okay? All right. So now we're going home. They always want to walk home faster because that's where their food and friends, and they get their saddles off. So we try, if they start going fast, to serpentine or give them jobs if we can. And if we're on a single track and it's muddy and we can't do anything, we just squeeze and relax on the rein every time they speed up or he gets too close to this horse. And it's okay, you know, if he gets too close, because this is your first time. Yeah. So we just try to do what we can. But see, they usually walk straighter and faster on the way home. Yeah. You're like, wow, this is fun. And I go, yeah. But that's what you're trying. If you see what they can do on the way back, that's what you're trying to get on the way out. Okay. So as we get up here, we're going to go to the right side. And then you'll see the part they kind of have to step up. If possible, you're going to lean forward. Yeah, but we came down this. I'm trying to make it. So there, did you lean forward at all? Yes. Yes, the left side was a little better, but I wanted you to get up that bump. Because it's good practice. Okay. So now we're just trying to keep them like in the center of the trail. Yep, so if they kept drifting, you just kind of keep leg yielding them back to the center. So now it's going downhill a little bit, so we're just trying to kind of be on our seat pockets of our pants, so we're on our buttock, and you're just trying to keep your weight back to help them. That footing gave out up there. There's a little trail right here, so I'm going to take us this way, but we might go through the bushes some, okay? Because I don't want you to get stuck in that one part. So here, just keep sitting back, keep your eyes on my head and your feet out in front of you. And then watch your head there. But that way we avoided that little area. Just in case, you know, because that's hard. All right. You okay? Yes. He's a good trail buddy. Yeah. So right after this bush, we kind of veer to the left because on the right, it's too mucky. And it's not like they can't get through it, but we're trying to keep it safest for us. Where's the better footing? So see how my horse is taking little steps? I'm kind of making him do that. So as we get through here, I'm going to try and keep this guy slow so he's more careful and pays attention to how to fit his big feet through here. So I'm just squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax. You got this, buddy. So there he just got his foot on the edge again. He's got some big feet. And I just sat back. Well, now I'm going to wait for you because anybody ahead, if I rushed ahead, then your horse might rush and trip in there because he's rushing. So you always want to make sure you're like, wait, I can't get through this. Just wait a second for me.
I can't believe they can do that.
Oh, go through that?
Like,
Oh yeah, I can hardly walk through that without tripping.
lower to the ground and like,
No. And then when people get mad, like the horse trips in there and they're all pissed off, and I go, really? Why don't you try and walk in there and see how hard it really is? And then
somebody on your back.
put on big shoes, you know, bigger feet, and see how it goes. So here is the ditch, so keep your left rein open and then your right leg and then switch, because then there will be a ditch on your left over here. And then those step ups that we came up, we're gonna go down. That might hit you in the face. So as we get to the little stair things, you keep them slow the whole way. And when they go down the stairs, push your hands forward, but lean back. That way they, like right here, I'm gonna push my hands forward, but lean back. And keep your eyes on my head. There you go, yep. I know, and it's gonna happen again right here. So slow, lean back. Yep, keep your hands forward. Good job. But see, he actually like looked where he was supposed to go. So I'm just squeezing and relaxing to keep his steps short, just because he has such a big stride. And I'm trying to help him stay more sure-footed. Okay, so again, these mounds, sometimes they don't see the elevation, so you want to make sure he sees it. What are you looking at? Oh, there's a guy to the left. So he just spooked, so I'm going to let him look. See him to the left? He's going up and down. So I got my hands wide, you're leaning back, feet out in front of you. Yeah. See, and my horse is getting nervous. He's like, I can't figure out what that is. So I'm going to go. Come on.
His shoe came off.
Oh, his little boot?
Yeah.
That's all right. You're stinky anyhow. So you sit back, keep breathing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yep. What are you supposed to do? Turn. See how he just spooked? Yep. Yes. Now let him stand there. Get those reins short. Red. Go in the red. Yep. See, the guy's not talking, you think, but they didn't. It's okay. So now we're going to go again. Hi. All right. Now they'll know it's a guy. So now you're going to come forward. You did a good job, but that's like all the practice. Even though we practiced, when he spooked, you just went with the spook. Yep. So keep sitting back, your feet out in front of you, and then steer. Don't go over there if you don't have to. Good job. And keep breathing, because once he's behind us, if he like breaks something, that can scare them too. So you keep your feet out in front of you, lean way back, keep half halting, squeeze, relax, and just be ready to pull if he did jump forward. But you did good. Again, he just was like, should I run? And then he's like, oh, I don't think so. Yeah. But some horses do that like a mile later. They run and then they go, oh, it's okay. But yeah, I didn't see that guy so much in the beginning either. So now we got the scarecrow and now it's moving in the wind. So you think they see it, but they might not until it gets behind them. So still keep sitting back, half halting and breathing or singing or talking, anything so your mouth is open and air is going through. Yeah. Now that irrigation thing's right here, so we're going to go off on the right. Yep. Right. Yep, and then it's just getting the muscle memory and the reaction time, but the only way to get it is to practice. And then yes, but I tell people the only way to get better is to do it, and they go, what? And I go, we can practice all we want in the arena, but until it really happens, you don't know how you're going to respond. And then when you respond wrong, you're like, well, we won't do that again. Oh, that bell boot? Maybe if I ride another horse up there. I don't want to stop and then have them being scared and you're new and, you know, I'd rather be like, oh, whatever, it's not that expensive. Yeah, and it's just a bell boot because he has over stride. So now we're going to go straight. Now do you trip? Yep. Yes. And you just lean back because they'll catch themselves, but if you fall forward, then they can't. Yep. But it can happen to any of them, can trip. And again, people like that one trip and people freak out and I go, well, he just took us through the scary step, never missed a step. Yeah. And then right before he got home, where he's now going to be lazy and not paying attention, he tripped. I'm like, nothing's wrong with him. That's just not paying attention. Okay, so this might be a little muddy. So again, you watch where I go, and if I don't sink, you can go there. If I sink, you go somewhere else. Let's go this way. Yeah. But usually if you have good balance and when they trip, you lean back as far as you can, they will get up. But if you fall forward, you can knock them right off their feet. There's a hole there. So start looking for holes. And again, the dogs are in the truck, so just in case. They usually don't jump, but you never know. All right, now we're not going to get off. We're going to walk around the barn one more time, just so coming back to the barn is not like us immediately getting off.